binoculars and welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Clement Lenglet, as it have been reported that Tottenham Hotspur are willing to make an offer to purchase the Barca defender. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Sergino Dest, as it has been reported that Barca are ready to sell the loanee at a discounted price for around 12 million euros. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into the full story, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca, Barca, Barca. Clement Lenglet was one of many Barca players that left the Camp Nou on loan last summer in favor of more game time elsewhere. He joined Tottenham Hotspur on a season-long loan deal as part of Xavi's plan to make space in the defensive unit. Lenglet's departure paved the way for Barcelona to bring in the likes of Andreas Christensen and Jules Koundé, and with the defender's spell at Tottenham coming to an end in a few months' time, Barcelona are hoping that he leaves the Camp Nou permanently. To that end, Sport has offered an update on Lenglet's current status, suggesting there is a chance of the Frenchman definitely remaining at Tottenham Hotspur. Although the Premier League giants do not have an option to permanently buy the player at the end of the season, the Premier League club have showcased the desire to make an offer to Barca this summer in an attempt to secure his deal on a permanent basis. This is because Lenglet has been overall successful during his loan spell at Spurs. He has become a first-team regular alongside Christian Romero, and he has racked up over 1,600 minutes of competitive football this season. Lenglet's performances have seemingly convinced Spurs to consider signing him on a permanent deal at the end of the season, as coach Antonio Conte looks to build a solid base in the defensive unit ahead of the new season. The report suggests Barcelona are ready to assume losses on Lenglet, who had arrived at the club for a fee of almost 36 million euros. They will consider any offers that come their way and are likely to negotiate the most favorable deal for the French international. Clement Lenglet is not the only on-loan Barca player facing a possible exit, as the club are reportedly open to sanctioning the exit of Abde Ezzazzouli as well. Of course, this past summer, when the season started, we quite remember Barca let go of many outcasts, many players who were regulars under Ronald Koeman. In fact, when Barca were really down the drain, and Xavi and Laporta really made serious business. Like, they had to loan most of these players to strengthen the squad, which was really a brilliant summer for Barca. Barca made waves in the summer last year, 2022. And of course, Clement Lenglet was one of those players who was who was really poor in his time as a Barca player, and Xavi never favored him and he was one of the players who were loaned out. And since joining Tottenham Hotspur, he has had fairly good games at times, and he has successfully convinced Antonio Conte that he can be one of the starting 11 players at the back, which has been happening. He has been playing most of the games than not. And it's good news for Barca to see that Tottenham Hotspur are somehow interested to make Lenglet's deal permanent, even though there was no option in the loan agreement. But Tottenham are interested, which means that if they really want to buy Lenglet, they have to make a fresh offer to Barca, if Barca will consider the offer. But honestly speaking, knowing fully well how Barca are desperate to get rid of Lenglet, it wouldn't be surprising to make the deal so swift. Whatever Tottenham try to offer might not take a lot of resistance for Barca to accept. But let's see how it goes, because it is very clear that Barcelona don't want this guy to come back. Because right now we have very good defenders that Lenglet coming to Barca will be a very useless player, being on the bench throughout, which is something that it won't be good for his own future or for his own career. So definitely Barca will be really hoping that he should never come back to the team, as they really want the loan deal to be turning a permanent one. Of course, we did loan Ace update. There are many players. Barca loaned a lot of players, and definitely when we look at things critically, most of them or majority of them have not really done well for Javi to say, look, I want this guy to come back. And Barca will be hoping that they can even turn all those loans to permanent sale come end of the season. So let's see how Lenglet's on will go. Honestly, I think Barca will try to make things very easier if Tottenham Hotspur indeed make a fresh offer to buy the player on permanent basis. I think Barca will not make life that difficult for Tottenham Hotspur to make it work out. So let's see how it goes for Barcelona. Lenglet is a left-footed defender, but unfortunately he was not the type of defender that fits a big club like Barca, you know. But he was left-footed, and Xavi really needs a left-footed, and they're looking for a left-footed with Inigo Martinez being the most talked about linked, who looks like a possibility than any other defender that Barca is currently showing interest in right now. Then on to the next story of discussion. Sergino Dest's loan tenure with Serie A side AC Milan hasn't really panned out as he would have hoped. The former Ajax right back, who fell out of favor under Xavi at Barca, left for Italy last summer in search of regular first-team football, but inconsistency has defined his spell at best. And now that his journey is about to end, questions over his Barca future continue to make the headlines. Now, it must be remembered that although his initial deal with the Milan team is a straight loan, the Serie A side does have the option to sign him for 20 million euros. Given his poor run of form, however, AC Milan are unwilling to match the price, and this is causing some serious trouble among the Barca management. This is mostly because they have no place for the American in the first place, thus wanting him to continue in Italy. And for that, they are willing to slash the price to around 12 million euros according to Sports. At the same time, however, we have reported before that in case Milan decides to let him leave, the player will in fact return to Barca. Dest has not settled well in Italy at all, to say the very least. The 22-year-old has featured in just 8 league games for the team this season and was left out of Milan's UEFA Champions League squad for the second half of the season. This pretty much goes on to show that Milan have no intention of exercising their option for a permanent transfer. However, it remains to be seen how the Italians will respond now that Barca have decided to slash the price. If Dest is to return, Barca will again try to offload him because he has no place in Xavi's scheme of things. And as things stand, they would be willing to do so for a discounted price of around 12 million only. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.